Hello everybody, my name is Micah Cooper and today I will be reading All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten by Robert Fulghum. This is a two-parter. We're going to be reading two chapters which coincide with each other. The Haiho Lama and Angels. It's one of my favorite books. It always will be. Let's begin. Grab something that brings you comfort. Grab something nice, cuddle up with your cat. It's a pretty cold day here in Michigan, so this is perfect. I've got my honey roasted peanuts, as usual. Alright. The Haiho Lama by Robert Fulghum. Elias Schwartz repairs excuse me, let me do that again. Elias Schwartz repairs shoes. He is short and round and bald and single and middle-aged and Jewish. The old-fashioned cobbler, he says. Nothing more, nothing less. I happen to be convinced that he really was the 145th reincarnation of the Haiho Lama. See, the Haiho Lama died in 1937, and the monks of, I might butcher this, Sayaska. The monks of the Sayaska monastery have been searching for 40 years of his reincarnation without success. The New York Times carried the story last summer. The article noted that the Lama would be recognized by the fact that he went around saying and doing wise things in small, mysterious ways, and that he would be doing the will of God without understanding why. A guy like that would be worth looking up for. Alright, that's such a weird line. A guy like that would be worth looking up to. Looking for. Jesus Christ. Let's do one. Third time's a charm. A guy like that would be worth looking for, alright. I found him. Through some unimaginable error in the cosmic switching yards, the Haiho Lama had been reincarnated as Elias Schwartz. I have no doubts about it. My first clue came to when I took my old My first clue came when I took my old loafers in for total renewal. The works. Elias Schwartz examined them with intense care. With regret in his voice, he pronounced them not worthy of repair. I accepted the unwelcome judgment. Then he took my shoes, disappeared in the back of the shop, and I waited and wondered. He returned my shoes in a stapled brown bag, for carrying, I thought. When I opened the bag that evening, I found 2 gifts and a note. In each shoe, a chocolate chip cookie wrapped in waxed paper. And these words in the note: anything not worth doing is not worth doing well. Think about it. Elias Schwartz. The Haiho Lama strikes again, and the monks will have to go on looking, because I'll never tell. We all need the Lamas here when we can get them. Angels by Robert Fulghum. Are your stories true? Are the people real? The simple answer is yes. The more complicated answer is that I am a storyteller, not an investigative journalist. A good story can be improved by adding necessary facts, spice to the stew. A dash of hyperbole may be used to encourage laughter, and sometimes I combine 2 very similar stories into a better one, sacrificing for what is true for the sake of truth. Often it's necessary to change names and certain identifying details to protect the privacy of the individuals about whom I write. Not everyone wants to be well known. A case in point is the Haiho Lama. The story is true, but from the beginning, the shoemaker was adamant about not being identified. He felt it was not right to get credit for simply doing what everyone ought to be doing in the first place. "Please don't use my name or tell people where my shop is," he asked. So I made up the name, Elias Schwartz. It was just as credible. The shoemaker's real name was too improbable to be credible. Eli Angel. Well, Mr. Angel is dead now, and I feel free to correct the facts and tell you the rest of the story. Eli Angel was an Orthodox Sephardic Jew, born on the island of Rhodes. Though his formal education was limited, those who knew him considered him a very learned man. He could hold his own in Greek, Spanish, French, Hebrew, and English. He knew history and philosophy and theology. A generous man, he was active in helping other immigrants settle into their adoptive country. In his neighborhood in Seattle, he was revered for his many small acts of perceptive kindness, for believing that whatever good a man does comes back to him. When he died, the synagogue was filled to overflowing. They called him a righteous man, worthy of respect. The term that they actually use, this is a side note from me, Micah. The term that they use is spelled like this: Tzadddik. Tzak, maybe? I don't know. So I'm going to continue on. They called him a righteous man, worthy of respect. By coincidence, my wife knew Eli's wife. My wife, the epitome of medical discretion, had never told me that she was Mrs. Angel's physician. After Eli's death, Mrs. Angel was feeling pretty bad and came to see my wife. She missed her beloved husband. She wished more people had known him. My wife told her the story of the Haiho Lama from the kindergarten book and explained that millions of people knew about her husband. They just didn't know his real name. His acts of kindness had come back around to comfort his wife. Doing good things without expectation of reward was Eli's specialty, way beyond putting cookies in shoes he wouldn't repair. The Jews have a word for such deeds: mitzav. Mrs. Angel died recently, and now I can tell you even more. When Eli met Rachel, it was love at first sight. He proposed after knowing her 2 days. She turned him down. Why? Because she had cancer. She'd been told that she could not have children and would not live long. He insisted. He would love her until the end, whenever it came. With love as a shield against impending doom, they married. Love produced 4 children, and love kept them together into old age. Mrs. Angel was as good at mitzav as her husband, a conspirator in doing good deeds without getting caught at it. I know all of this because I recently spent time talking with the Angels. Eli's son is a third cobbler, running his father's shop up on Capitol Hill in Seattle. People in the neighborhood speak of Raymond as they once spoke of his father, a real mensch. If I'm butchering this, then I'm going to spell it for you. Mensch. A worthy man. A real worthy man. I watched him engage customers with patience and attention. Another mitzav specialist, I thought to myself. I spoke with Raymond's sisters and his daughter and saw the family scrapbooks. Eli Angel and his dear wife Rachel were talked about as if they were still around, still taking care of their corner of the world. I went away reminded that not all people are no damn good, and the world is not going completely, keyword everyone, going completely to hell. I went away admonished and blessed. The evangelist, The evangelist, Billy Graham, says, angels are real. We just can't see them. Wrong. I know where the real angels are. I've seen them with my own eyes. Some angels I know can fix your souls and mend your soul at the same time.